For everyone, there's a taste of food or a smell of cooking that zooms you right back to childhood.
It's just like my mum's cake.
I'm Brian Turner.
It reminds me of someone I used to know at school.
And I'm going to stir up the food memories of some much-loved celebrities.
Oh, look at that.
Going back to their early years before they were famous.
Oh, my gosh.
With recollections of Sunday roasts and school dinners.
It's time for something to eat.
Brilliant.
And celebrating the food their home regions are proud of.
Which way would you like to go?
This way.
I'll recreate a nostalgic family favourite.
You can't beat a crumble.
And a tribute dish that puts my guest's life on a plate.
Magic. Magic.
Today, broadcaster Anita Rice is returning to her home county of Surrey. She'll be walking in her childhood footsteps.
I'm really confused. Where's the tree we used to swing on?
There'll be revelations from her teenage diaries.
Every page, I talk about what I've had for lunch.
And I'll be cooking dishes that will unlock long-forgotten memories.
Oh my goodness, Brian. You have surpassed yourself.
Just an hour from the centre of London is the Surrey village of Limpsfield, a little jewel of a place. With its wonderful old houses, quaint pubs and medieval church, it's my idea of a perfect English village. And this is where television and radio personality Anita Rice grew up. We're meeting at one of her favourite childhood hangouts, the local tennis club.
Brian.
Anita, hi.
Nice
Lovely
to meet you.
You too, this is great.
And what a wonderful place this is. Look, the sun
I
shining,
arranged
blue
it all
skies.
for you.
And look at these wonderful tennis courts.
It's all a backdrop.
Is it really?
Yeah, there's a factory behind that.
Let's go and sit down and then we can tell me exactly why we're here.
Come round here.
Thank you.
Annika was actually born in Wales, but her family moved to Surrey when she was just a toddler. I want to find out what she remembers about growing up here and the food she and her family used to eat. And luckily for me, she's got it all on paper.
I used to write a diary every day from the age of about 8 or 9. And I write every morning what I had for breakfast, what I had for lunch. It was really important.
And what kind of things did you have for breakfast?
It was always something like a fried egg on toast, mushrooms on toast, because behind our house there were fields, and I used to go out with my dad and we'd forage for mushrooms and bring them back and fry them up. And memories of breakfast and meals at home are of the smell of mushrooms cooking. I was left very much to my own devices as a child. I'd walk to school, I'd walk myself to choir practices on a rainy evening. You know, you just sort of did everything yourself and organised yourself.
Annika's adventurous spirit took her to Hong Kong aged 19, where she worked for the BBC's World Service Radio. And these days, she can be found entertaining the early Saturday breakfast audience on Radio 2. She became a TV star in the early 80s. In Treasure Hunt and Challenge Annika, she charged around the country with a bunch of mates.
Subtle trick.
It wasn't so different from her school days.
In the road where I grew up, various little boys on the road and we were a great gang, and we'd all scavenge from our fridges and meet with a battered old saucepan which was encrusted with bacon fat and go and make fires in the woods and cook.
I did read that there was a gypsy encampment nearby.
Oh, Sparky the Gypsy. It wasn't an encampment, it was just one-off guy.
Oh, really?
Old, gnarled guy, according to my diary. I had to look it up. Sparky, who filled us with a mixture of terror and fascination. And if we were feeling very brave, we'd go up. He was just, you could see the Dines just in the distance.
Oh, yes, yeah.
He was just up there in his caravan, and again, it was all to do with smells and cooking, because he'd cook on a little fire. And if we were very brave, we'd nick stuff from home and take him some bacon and stuff. And then we'd sit with him while he cooked it and told us. It was just something out of the famous Five. It was extraordinary, really. My mum was a very good cook, so it was all lots of pastry and jam roly-poly, and then the rest of the pastry would go into the apple pie, and then the rest of the something would go into something
It's all
else.
thought through in those days.
Yeah, so we'd have the Sunday roast on a Sunday, liver and bacon always on a Tuesday. It all got very... Irish stew, perhaps, one night, mopped up with white loaf. And it's just very basic food, but very, very tasty. But I have to say, when we were about 12 or 13, cordon bleu cards came free in some magazine.
Oh, right, yes,
on
yes.
a Sunday.
Yeah.
And I blame it on this cordon bleu card. Mum started getting very, very ambitious with her cooking, which was fantastic, obviously. Suddenly we got a bit more exotic.
Well, I was going to say cordon bleu,
Yeah.
the way you've described your food habits, your food experience, it
Chalk
is
and
another...
cheese.
Exactly,
It's
it's another step up. also.
cream, you know, all sorts of
What
things.
kind of dishes do you remember that worked well? Or...
Chicken liver pâté.
Right, yes, yes.
Which is very popular. A lot of bœuf bourguignon,
Oh,
and
yes,
sort of
yeah.
things like that.
Well, it wouldn't be a tennis club if we didn't actually have a berry or a strawberry. I don't know if you're a strawberry fan. These are local
Oh,
strawberries.
they
Bit of
do
fruit
look
there.
local. They look quite different, don't they? I don't really remember strawberries at home.
No.
It was a luxury, unless you found them in the hedgerows, wild strawberries, which are delicious,
better, aren't
really
they?
delicious. After school, when I was a kid, I used to go up to Wimbledon and get return tickets from people leaving early and go and watch matches, because I was so obsessed with tennis, and that's where I remember strawberries coming into play a bit.
I do love a strawberry. For me, it's the quintessential British summer fruit. And when they come into season, they're always a reminder that Wimbledon Fortnight is just around the corner. Every single day during the tournament, visitors get through over 8,000 punnets of them. In fact, strawberries are the UK's favourite soft fruit. To find out the secret to a great strawberry, I'm visiting a local Surrey grower. Charles Secret's family business goes back over 100 years.
It started in 1908. My grandfather, the Venerable F.A. Secret, bought 20 acres of land at Kiev. He grew a sort of a wide range of horticultural crops, which he took into London.
Right.
I think at the height of his sort of business prowess, he had 6 farms on the go.
When Charles took over the business, he was one of the first farmers in Surrey to try a new craze that came over from America in the 1970s. Pick your own.
It was all about strawberries. You would grow your field of strawberries and just open the gates, and miraculously the hordes would come in and pick you out. It was very, very
But as I remember it, because I used to go, it was a family day out almost.
Yes.
Loads of us would go, loads of mums, loads of kids.
Yes.
Have a great day in the countryside.
Yeah.
Eat a couple.
Yes.
And then pick loads
Naughty.
and take them home. Well,
Got to try them first.
I agree. Do you still have to bend down to pick them up?
Well, some people do, but an awful lot of strawberries are now being grown out of the ground or on raised beds. You'll see here we grow tabletop strawberries, so the strawberries are grown like 3 foot off the ground.
Okay.
The fruit hangs over the side, it's very easy to pick, but it does encourage good air movement all around the plant. So the crops are always dry, apart from the irrigation, which is fed through to the roots.
Innovations like these have helped British strawberry production to increase by 36% in 5 years.
We've seen a lot of polytunnels go up for strawberry production in this country. The advantage of polytunnels is it keeps the rain off the strawberries. You don't actually want strawberries to get wet.
Sure.
The bane of any pick-your-own operator was they've got their crop all ready for the weekend and they get a wet weekend and it will just wipe the crop out.
Some growers are even trying LED lights to extend the growing season from 6 weeks to nearly 9 months. Imagine eating British strawberries at Christmas.
And there is nothing like an English strawberry.
With the heat of the sun on it. How many times people take strawberries home and put them in the fridge, which is what we all do because it does make them keep longer, but there is nothing like eating strawberries warmed by the sun.
Lead on, Plum Duck.
Forget about exotic fruits. Strawberries are one of the original superfoods. They're packed full of vitamin C and may even help lower cholesterol, if you go easy on the cream.
Well, this is called El Santa. It has good flavour, good shape, and it yields well. And it does travel quite well, so you can pick it and transport it around the country. But we're not really interested in that. We want people to pick them and eat them straight away because that's when they're best. And of course, this now, you're going to be eating this with the warmth still in the strawberry, and that's what makes it so special. The flavour just comes alive.
It's so sweet. That's just, but then that thing I like about it, it's so juicy.
Sometimes people go for the really largest strawberries, but they're not always the best. The flavour can be more intense in the slightly smaller ones. So actually these are a little bit smaller, that's how I like them, so very nice.
Well, you may have a taste as well.
Oh, can I? Well, you've had enough. That's your second punnet.
So there are 3 rules for great strawberries that I've learnt today. Get local if you can, don't put them in the fridge, and when it comes to these berries, big isn't always best.
Lovely.
Back in Limpsfield, Annika's brought me to one of the most important places in her childhood.
So, Brian, this is St Peter's Church, beautiful old 12th century church where I was a chorister. So
Right.
that was 3 services on a Sunday, 2 weddings on a Saturday.
There must be many happy memories for
Yeah.
you in there. So why don't you go in there and relive those memories? I'm going to go to the church hall. I'm going to cook you a dish, which is a nostalgic dish.
Oh, what are you going to
Just for
do?
you. I'll tell you when I see you.
oh,
You go in
oh,
there.
oh.
Off you go in there.
Lunch!
Enjoy, enjoy.
Annika's told me about how her mum went all cordon bleu in the 70s. Well, I'm going to make perhaps the classic dish of the decade, chicken Kiev. It's breadcrumbed and stuffed with garlic butter, and that's where I'm starting.
Take some butter, plenty of it. There we go. And just give that a bit of a soften up. Then I'm going to put some parsley in there. OK, now, I'm going to take a little bit out and put that in my breadcrumbs over here. That's for later. And the rest goes into the butter. Clove of garlic. Garlic really does season the chicken from the inside, just this makes it lovely and moist. And it was, in the day, a very classic dish. All the large hotels and big restaurants used to make this. So give us a stir around.
I need to chill the butter until it's solid. Pop it on some cling film. Roll into a sausage shape before sticking it in the freezer. And this can be done well in advance.
I've got one here. This has been in the freezer. I've taken it out now. And the reason we do that is so that it doesn't actually melt straight away when the chicken's cooking. It softens and then it flavours. So we'll take some of that. I think that'll probably be enough. Smells delicious.
It's lovely to come here just to have a look around because obviously when I was a chorister I'd be scrambling along the cobblestones, flinging my bicycle somewhere rather late for a service, and then there would be friends' weddings and then, sadly, friends' funerals. Oh, so big breath, going to have a look. Wow, here are all the notices. Look at this, St Peter's Messy Church for Children and Families Together. That's a bit of a change from Sunday school I used to do here. We didn't do anything messy, it was very sensible. Let's go in. Oh, it's lovely. There's been a church on this site since before the Normans. It's absolutely lovely. You always feel you have to whisper slightly. So we would, as the choir, we'd come out of that door and file round here. Never had a carpet. What's all this? Anyway, there's a carpet now. And then we'd come round do a bit of a nod, and this would be my seat here. And this is when the sweets came out, more or less as soon as we sat down. I'm half expecting to see some sweet wrappers on the floor. Very significant part of my life, this. Very significant. It's very moving, actually, to be back in this beautiful building. Sort of rubs off on you. Very, very special place, this.
In the village hall, my nostalgic chicken Kiev is taking shape.
We've got a skinless breast of chicken, and we've kept the wing bone on there. So you may need to ask the butcher for that. And then just quickly trim off the excess meat to clean the bone. It's just for presentation purposes, no other reason, but it does make it look really good. Okay, so we've cleaned it there. Just give it a quick bang there. Don't throw that away, stick it in the freezer, use it in the stock, it's wonderful. Now, turn it over, just cut a nice incision there. Turn it this way around. Just make a nice little pocket, a little pouch. And then I'm just going to make another incision here, just to push this pellet of butter inside. Now what we need to do now is to seal it in and retain the shape. So to do that, I'm going to take these 2 eggs that I need in a second anyway for my egg wash on the outside. Beat them up. You need 2 eggs like this if you're doing 4 or 6 portions. You don't need too much. So take a pastry brush, and what we do now is use a bit of the egg wash on the outside there. Just brush that across there like that. And I'm just sprinkling of flour. And that just helps to stick it all together. And to make that work, just think all the time, think of this lovely chicken shape. So now it goes into flour that's had salt and pepper put into it. Very carefully like that. We don't want too much flour on there, so we get rid of the excess. The flour will help the egg wash stick, and the egg wash will help the breadcrumbs stick on there. So we get this lovely crisp coating. So in that goes in there. Once again, think of keeping the shape of the chicken. Take this, keep the shape, and put it into the breadcrumbs. And then smother it with breadcrumbs. Make sure that everywhere's got breadcrumbs on it. And very carefully lift it out.
Annika's trip around her old neighbourhood has brought her back to her primary school, which is now a private house.
To my mind, as a small, 4 or 5-year-old going up to the age of about 10, 11, this was a gigantic empire, this school. Obviously the garage wasn't there, and you just walked into school there, had assembly in the big hall, and a very, very happy place that was. Best years of my life, probably. I'd give anything to be 5 and going back again. I'd like to live the whole period of my childhood again. It is obviously something I hold very dear and preciously, so forgive me for being slightly, mad.
I'm ready to brown and seal my chicken before putting it in the oven.
Just a little knob of butter in there, just for flavour. But the thing to remember here is normally you put the presentation side down first when you got breadcrumbs, but in this instance, where it's sealed, we want to cook that first, so it actually cooks together and sets. Remember, we're trying to keep the butter in the middle so it just melts when it's cooked. So the thing that goes here, to seal it all off. Okay, so having got so far, now we turn it over. Look at that lovely colour on that side. And it just takes a little bit of patience, does this. But you want that lovely colour, it looks really attractive. They used to deep fry these in the big restaurants, but nobody wants to do that at home. Look at that, that's a fantastic colour. So take that, put it onto here, just pour that oil and butter over the top. Oven door open. I put that in the oven. It's about 180 degrees and it's going to cook for about 10 or 15 minutes. We don't want to dry it out, but remember we've got the butter in the middle.
We devotedly, as children, had wildflower books, books of birds, and we never walked anywhere without these books, and we were just always intrigued to look and see what was growing. And I don't know what that building is. That wasn't there. I'm confused. I'm really confused. Where's the tree we used to swing on? I think it was there. I think that horrible building. What is that building that's taken the place of my beloved tree that used to be there? Anyway, this then became the playing field for my school. And you can see the nets there that have been taken over by the tennis club, but that was the school. And so we'd spill out at break and often play in this area. We had our sports day here. And we had nature lessons back to the book. And that style over there and beyond, you can see it's very much as it was. And we just used to walk round and go, you know, just looking for harebells and sheep's bit scabious. That sounds quite racy. Nipplewort. We laughed a lot at some of these pages. We were quite childish.
While Annika's been wandering over the green fields of home, I've been preparing a cordon bleu classic, chicken Kiev. I've made some garlic butter with parsley, which I've frozen, so it melts slowly whilst the dish is in the oven. I've made a little pocket inside the chicken breast for the butter and dipped the whole lot in flour, egg and breadcrumbs before browning it all over and putting it in the oven to cook. All I need to finish the dish is a warm salad of green beans and shallots.
Oh!
Hiya!
The smell of garlic as I walked through.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
It's boding well.
that might tell you what we're doing. Chicken Kiev.
Oh, fantastic. It was the first complicated dish I tried to do to impress a boyfriend.
Oh, right.
And I got the recipe a bit wrong because I didn't really understand. Oh, it didn't look like that.
Oh, I
It
see,
didn't
right.
look like that at all. I found it very difficult to approach the chicken breast on the bone, but I didn't quite understand some of the ingredients. For example, a bulb of garlic is a bulb of garlic. A clove of garlic, I found out, is something quite different.
It's a segment.
It's
it could be a
segment.
tenth of it.
It isn't the entire bulb. So I put the entire bulb of garlic, crushed up, lovingly trying to impress, into this one single chicken breast.
They do say that when you've eaten garlic, you should eat parsley. So you want about 10 bunches, you'll be fantastic.
We
Forget
didn't
all
know that in 1975.
Right, so what I'm going to do,
Okay.
I'm going to make a little bit of dressing here.
Okay.
So I've got some French Dijon mustard. Are you lots of mustard or little mustard?
Lots of mustard.
Lots of mustard. Next gram there. Cider vinegar.
Oh, lovely.
So a little bit of cider vinegar goes in. Very carefully measured out, as you will
Yes,
notice.
no, I'm liking the precision.
Yeah, perfect. Some rapeseed oil. It's got a nice flavour to it. It's got a nutty smell
Nutty,
to it.
isn't it? Yeah.
We better put some salt and pepper in there. I do love shallots.
Okay.
Put this into the dressing. Then we take the beans, which are nice and dried off, put those in there.
Look at those colours.
And I know you'll love this next little bit. Exactly,
Yeah.
get the hands in. Whilst
Yeah.
it's hot,
Yeah.
but they'll soon be warm rather than...
Yeah,
And you
just
gotta-
chuck it over my trousers. That's fine too. It's
You
fine.
came into the kitchen, not me, huh?
Oh,
Oh,
shall I
have a
check?
taste of that. Yeah, I think I love it. I'm going to put a drop more salt and pepper in there.
Oh, aren't they
Nice, aren't
lovely?
they? And they just-
I love
you
this
won't get them any
rapeseed
fresher.
oil. It's
Oh, good for
amazing.
you.
So nutty.
Let's just put these beans in the middle of the plate.
The memory lives on in my head.
That's the way it should be. Food is all about creating great memories. And today is a memory day for you. Just... It's a bit chefy, but... Just,
Quite chefy.
yeah, quite. And we just put it
Oh,
on top. And we just take that cloth, because I've just made a bit of a mess there.
I can so confidently say that mine looked nothing like that. It's literally a different dish.
The nostalgic dish I've cooked for Annika is chicken Kiev, a chicken breast stuffed with garlic butter and cooked in herby breadcrumbs. I've also made a warm salad of green beans and shallots in a mustard vinaigrette.
Go for it.
Oh my goodness, what's going to happen?
That looks delicious.
All the juices trickling out. Oh my goodness, that's amazing. Oh, look at that.
That was so posh.
Okay.
Now keep at it, because you wanted all that yourself.
I do.
So.
Yeah, you're not getting any.
It's just melted into the breast there, kept it lovely, and it
It's
smells.
so delicate, actually. It really is delicate. Oh, don't mind me. It's heaven.
Heaven.
I am 15. Back in the day. Well, I'll carry on then.
Yep, please, you just finish that off.
Don't mind me, everyone.
Coming to Annika's childhood village, I've been surprised by how green Surrey is, even though it's so close to London. And it's home to millions of creatures farmed for the food they produce. I'm not just talking about cows or sheep, I'm talking about bees. Master beekeeper Bob Maurer is chairman of the Surrey Beekeepers Association.
Surrey is very good for bees because there is a huge diversity of forage. We have plenty of trees. I think we're the most wooded county in the country.
Most of the round furry bees we see in our gardens are bumblebees, which live in nests, often underground. Only one sort of bee makes enough honey for beekeepers like Bob to harvest. Unsurprisingly, they're called honeybees. They live in huge colonies in hives, and confusingly, they look a bit like wasps. Honeybees collect two things from flowers to give them a balanced diet. Nectar is a sugary liquid packed full of carbohydrates, and powdery pollen is a good source of protein. When the bees return to the hive, they fill wax honeycombs with regurgitated nectar and fan it with their wings to evaporate the water content so it becomes concentrated into honey. Humans have been taking honey from beehives for thousands of years. Honeycombs have even been found intact in ancient Egyptian tombs. But even with the benefits of modern technology, extracting the honey can be a sticky business. The first step is to cut away the waxed cap that's sealing the honeycomb.
I've known beekeepers give up because they just got into such a mess doing this. I spend a good couple of hours going around with plastic sheeting and all the door handles and taps and anything I might touch are covered in cling film. It's a lot easier to do that and then whip the cling film off afterwards than spend hours going around wiping surfaces down.
The honey is removed from the combs by spinning it in a centrifuge.
We'll start it slowly because sometimes when you turn it up to full speed, it may start to walk about. As it spins, the honey is thrown out to the side, spatters against the side of the stainless steel drum and runs down to the bottom. The honey that you've produced yourself is always special, particularly the first jar you ever produce. That's a marvellous experience. Think, I've done that.
There are over 40,000 beekeepers in this country, and most are amateurs. Jill and Maggie are new converts to the hobby.
You can cook with your honey. I also make mead, which is a drink with the fermented honey. You can add spices, you can use up autumn fruits, you can make a nice alcoholic drink.
Not all our bees make honey, but they all play a vital role in food production. They pollinate nearly every crop we grow by picking up pollen from one flower and transferring it to the next one they visit. So whether you want to bring bees to your vegetable patch or just want to make sure they have enough food to last the winter, grow plants with lots of pollen and nectar. And the bees will be as happy in your garden as you are.
Cheers.
Back in Limsfield, we're about to get our first glimpse of Annika's childhood home.
I can admit to you now that I have stalked this house.
Oh, really?
Yes, I've driven my car, driven from London and driven and parked outside and just gazed at this house in quite a sort of, stalkery way, and been too shy to ring the doorbell because I'm desperate to get inside. I'm desperate. But it doesn't look like our house. It was yellow. They've changed the brickwork and the tiles and everything. So can we go
So
in?
today you get your chance. You get a chance to walk in there, think about times of the past. In the meantime, I'm going to cook another dish for you.
Pudding?
But a trip, no, sadly not.
Oh, no.
But lovely trip. You'll love it. You'll love it. Just you did very well with the first one. But you go and you're going to have a look at that house.
Thanks, Fran.
In you go.
See you.
Enjoy.
Oh, my God. This is so glamorous. This is amazing. I have to come in here because I spent a lot of time in here. It was the cupboard under the stairs. And I just sat in there in the dark because I love the smell of polish.
While Annika explores, I've made my way into the back garden where we've set up my outdoor kitchen, and I'm going to make her a unique tribute dish.
Annika loves the outside life, so I've got a beautiful breast of pheasant here. In fact, I've got two breasts, a crown of pheasant. Taking the legs off, and I'm going to roast this and serve it in a mushroom sauce because she used to go foraging just down there to get lovely mushrooms. And then I'm going to create a little potato dish with roast chestnuts, and just like Sparky used to do, with bacon. First thing we need to do, we need to get this pheasant in the oven. So put it into a roasting tray. You can see I've smeared it with butter, salt and pepper first, smeared it with butter, give it bags of flavour, and then we just put that in the oven. Comme ça. 180 degrees, 200 degrees. It's going to take about 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes, but it needs to rest afterwards.
While the pheasant is in the oven, I can get on with making the filling for the potato cake, starting with a rasher of back bacon chopped finely. I'm adding a chopped shallot for sweetness and flavour.
I don't really want to colour the shallots too much. Just want to get the flavours out. And now I've got some already cooked chestnuts and put it in the pan with our bacon and shallots. Look at that. Let's put some chopped parsley in there. Lovely colours, great smell. Delicious. Bit of salt, bit of pepper, and I can take that off now. Just leave it to the side till the potatoes are ready.
Deep breaths, about to go into my bedroom. Oh. Oh my goodness. Crikey. The thing is, I thought I would be sobbing my way around this house because the build up to this moment is so intense. But the house is so different now. But obviously the layout's here, and this was my bedroom, so it was against the wall there. And the best thing was that incredible view out there, and I just, such happy memories of being a very tiny child and being snuggled up in bed, and my dad mowing the lawn and just lying in bed and feeling so safe and happy with the whirring of the lawnmower and the smell of the grass coming up. That was just my defining memory of childhood. I just would wish my parents were alive. I've only just lost them, and I just wish they could have hung on for this moment to share with them, because they'd have gone, bloody Nora. God, it was amazing. It was like the Chelsea Flower Show out there. Sorry, Dad, but it wasn't like that back in the day.
I don't know about the Chelsea Flower Show. Making the potato cake could end up like an episode of Casualty if I'm not careful. This is one of the most dangerous jobs in the kitchen. so mind your fingers.
Even-sized potatoes for the bottom, which will become the top, and you'll see how. So we just lay these now, put those. Takes a bit of patience and a bit of time, but it's well worth it. And once you've got this work done, put it in the oven and you can get cleaned up whilst it's cooking. That last one goes in there. Now I'm just going to take my mixture and put that in there. Just look at that, it looks lovely. And what we need to do is need to get a really nice colour on the bottom of these, just nice and golden brown, and then we can cook it in the oven. We take some more potato, just lean it over to make like a little potato cake or a sandwich if you like. I can see that's starting to colour. Want to make sure it doesn't stick. Just one more goes in there. Lovely. And one on top. Bit of salt and pepper. And we just leave it for a couple of minutes now to get a lovely colour.
Up in her old bedroom, Annika's going back in time with the help of the diaries she kept from the age of 8 until she was 16.
This was the first one. It was meant to be a 5-year diary, but I just wrote so much, and then they expanded, and I just wrote, you know, just page, look at it, page after page after page. It is fascinating to read because it's such an interesting piece of social history. You just wouldn't, my kids would be absolutely, wouldn't believe this childhood. It's all about being outside and, you know, just your friends, and letter writing so important, and writing everything down, and yeah, it's extraordinary. So today, in many ways, has been a very, very emotional day, in a way. And every page, I talk about what I've had for lunch.
I hope my tribute dish will be worthy of a mention in a diary. I've roasted a crown of pheasant in the oven. While it's been resting, I've prepared a potato cake, first making a filling with bacon, shallots, chestnuts and parsley, then finely slicing a potato, arranging the slices in a pan and topping them with the filling and another layer of potatoes.
My friend, what are you up to now?
I've created a potato just for you and Sparky.
Oh.
What I'm going to do now, you need to stand back because it gets dangerous. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put some red wine in there just to finish cooking it.
Okay.
So a bit of oil, so that'll help it not stick and come out when I'm ready. And then a wee bit of red wine in there. Now the tip I have learned doing this is not to put too much red wine in there, to let it evaporate and all the potatoes go and soak up this wonderful Bordeaux flavour. So that goes in the oven.
It's all go, Brian, it's all go.
It's all fantastic.
It's all go.
So how was your bedroom?
Oh, my bedroom.
Do you remember?
No, I'm freaked out because I'm walking around my childhood home trying to find the essence, trying to find something that pulls and reminds me, and it's just been so altered. You know, the room dimensions have been pushed out, extensions. It's so zhuzhed up. I mean, it's an amazing house, but and the garden, where's my sandpit? You know what I mean?
Oh, right.
Like, what's going on? The only place I can find myself as a child is if I stand at the end of the garden and look out to those fields. And that makes me, that's where I get the lump in my throat.
Well, see, that's why I'm glad, because that's where Sparky was round there, isn't it? Yeah, fantastic. So, Sparky Land.
Sparky Land.
You got it?
Yeah.
OK,
but you have elevated him into some sort of mythical creature. Remember, he had no teeth, so eating was tricky.
This pheasant will be so tender, even Sparky could have eaten it. Right, look, I've got some button mushrooms. And the trick is to actually get them into the pan and cook them so they get bags of colour. So, nice hot pan. It's got a lovely golden colour. We've driven some of the moisture out, so it's a concentrated mushroom flavour. They look lovely. So now we're going to put a little bit of dry sherry in there. I think this works. I've got some stock here, little chicken stock.
Oh,
Goes in there.
that looks good.
So what we've made here is a sauce. I'm going to put some double cream in there. I'll do that now.
Oh,
Not too much.
oh, lovely.
Just look at that. Let that sit. And you see, look, it's starting to bubble now. It's just listening to what we want. It's coming on. And the nice thing is now, we managed to leave this.
That's rested nicely.
It's rested, and it just needs to let it sit there so it tenderises, it keeps the moisture going. Let's have a quick look at the potato here. See, look, it's how it's all sticking together. That's what we want. And those little hints of red wine there, which is that fabulous flavour. So I'm going to take this breast off here now. Sit there carefully. Trim it off. Okay, so get that out of the way. And there's a trick to doing the potato. You see how now the red wine's totally absorbed, so there's no liquid in there, so hopefully I can't hurt myself.
Oh, you're going to do an upside downy?
Going to do upside down, you're quite right. So you just get a plate like that, and all you do is just...
Stretch.
Look at
what?
that. Does that look good,
That
or does that
looks
look
amazing.
good? And underneath it's got those lovely roast chestnuts.
God, look at the glaze and
bacon.
the colours. And it even stays in one piece. Clever.
Yeah, I thought for a minute when you said that it was going to move. Huh?
That's incredible.
So we take now this lovely bit pheasant, and I've kept it deliberately not too thick. Mushrooms.
Oh my goodness, look at you.
Over the top.
Slight dribble done.
That's it. Just not too much sauce, but a little bit just around the outside there.
Have you done this before?
Never.
No.
My tribute dish for Annika is a crown of pheasant. The perfect dish for a woman who loves the great outdoors. I'm serving it with a potato and chestnut cake with bacon and red wine, and a mushroom sauce as a reminder of happy days foraging with her dad.
Brian, can I just say, I'm so honoured to have you cooking for me and touch. You've gone to so much trouble of sourcing childhood memories and putting it all together on a plate. Quite clever.
Well, that's very sweet of you, but I really hope you've enjoyed this little trip down memory lane and thought back to wonderful times, mum and dad, family, houses, schools. No, don't. Have a try of that. Don't.
Too good to eat. Oh, I must have some of those gorgeous, juicy potatoes. Oh my goodness, Brian. You have surpassed yourself.
Oh, sweet.
No. The crispiness of that.
Yeah.
After the fleshiness of the pheasant. And then the creaminess of the mushroom.
So have you enjoyed your day?
It's been an amazing day, Brian. Thank you so much. Not only the, real treat of hanging out with you and tasting this delicious food, but, having the opportunity to trawl around my childhood and relive my diaries. And,
relive the diaries.
Yeah, the diary years. And, wow, a big day. Big day for me.
Good on you.
Thank
All we
you.
need to do now is finish this
eating.
off.
Yeah.
Off you go.
No problem there.